African American Registered Nurses National Organization, and I happen to be the executive director of the Southwest region. And I say that because we have our meetings annually, and everywhere we have a meeting, I like to leave a footprint in that state. So we're looking for organizations that we can honor with financial gifts. Actually, coming up next year, we'll be in LA, so if you want to give me your information today, we can look it over. Maybe you'll be one of those organizations that we can award. I'm also work with an organization, I-61, with Tara Hilliard is the founder of that. We work with young ladies that are involved with sex trafficking. I serve on that board as educator, writing the curriculum for them to help educate churches and schools and parents about the dangers of sex trafficking to keep our children from getting involved with that. I also am the founder of In His Will Ministries, where we provide Christian education. Right now, we're having Bible studies in my home every Tuesday at 7 p.m., and you're welcome to come to that. And just looking where I can be used, you know, taking the God-given talents that God has given me, using my background as a registered nurse and as an effective speaker. So let me give you a little data with regards to healthcare in California. We have 1 in 5 Californians are uninsured, and this is since this data was 2012. Affordable Health Care Act came about in 2010, but at 2012 we still have 1 in 4 Californians that are uninsured, and the Californians that work, it's 1 in 4. So even though people are employed, they still don't have adequate health care, because what employers are doing is they're not giving the people enough hours to provide the health care that is needed. So what happens with that? When you get sick, what do? You go to the emergency room. You end up costing us in the long run. Wouldn't it be better to have prevention, where you can educate yourself in your disease process and have a doctor look at you prior to being hospitalized? 62% of uninsured children in California are in families where the head of household worked full-time in 2012. Employees in businesses of all sizes are more likely to be uninsured in California than the rest of the United States. In businesses with fewer than 10 employees, 40% of the workers are likely to have no insurance. And nearly 1/3 of the uninsured in California have annual family incomes of $50,000. And nearly 60% of the state's uninsured population is Latino. So when you look at that, I mean, the opportunity is great. The opportunity is great for us to educate ourselves. And you know, since I am African American, I can speak for African Americans in a sense that we don't look at disease the way that everyone else looks at disease. You know, we have faith in God that He's going to heal us of our diseases, and that is true. God can heal us of anything that He wants to, but we have a responsibility to care for ourselves. And you know, we tend not to share our illnesses with anyone. I have 2 parents, both 86 years old, and my dad is diabetic and would kill me if he knew that I was telling any of you today that he was diabetic, you know. So when we hear about people dying, it's very sudden, but no, there's been something going on for a long time prior to that person's death. So just to educate people of what they need to do for themselves. I was over at my parents' house, and I know my father's vision is failing him, and he's out there still driving. Just be careful. He's out there right now. And knowing that his vision is so poor, I could not imagine how he was checking his own blood sugar. And so I went over there one morning, early in the morning, you know, because I was fussing. I said, you know what, your doctor should send a nurse out to check on you. And I thought, well, I'm a nurse. Let me go and check on him myself. So I got there around 7:30 in the morning, you know, and I watched him. You know, I was going to watch him check his blood sugar, but his monitor wasn't even charged. It was dead, which lets me know he wasn't even using it. And I asked him to draw up his insulin. He put too much in the syringe. And while I'm going through this teaching, my mother is offering him chocolate. You know, so You know, they're at the age where they'll listen to other people, but they can't listen to their own family members. You know, so now how can I infiltrate and speak to his doctor? But that issue is what a lot of us are dealing with our parents and with ourselves. You know, if you know that your family members have healthcare issues that you know they're not caring for themselves, to enable them is definitely the wrong thing to do. So how can we help in California? How, you know, with the nurses, I mean, we have so many nurses, and right now there's so many nurses that are retiring. And I was lucky to be able to retire early, you know. But there's a lot of us out there with this knowledge base, and we just need a forum to come and talk to you. So I do what I can. You know, when you look at places like Africa and Ebola and AIDS virus, you get to be a little overwhelming sometimes. You say, well, what can I do? How can I fix that issue? But, you know, like moderator said initially, you know, look at the man in the mirror. I do what I can do. You know, that's why whenever someone invites me for anything, I always say yes, because I know that there is a need. Every forum that I've ever participated in, somebody will approach me and they'll tell me about a health issue they're having. Or if I am participating in a health fair of any type, I will always, every time, find somebody with blood pressure that is way too high, and they didn't even know they had hypertension, you know. So that issue, the obesity issue, you know, our diets, it is not an impossible task to conquer, but you have to do something. So myself, and in fact my entire nursing organization that I work with, this is what we do. You know, this is what we do. We provide training, we provide education, we provide screening, whatever we can do. And, you know, once you're a nurse, you're always assessing. I can look at you now and tell what health issues you have. I can look at your ankles and I see the swollen ankles, you know. I can look at your weight and I know that you have issues. But I think that, to quote my mom, well, I've just always lived with it, you know, and that's what happens. We get used to feeling bad, then we don't know what it's like to feel good. Yeah. We just get used to that ache. We don't know that it's not normal. You know, my dad, when I check his blood sugar, it's 300. He says, oh, that's good. No, Dad, that's not good. 80 to 120 is a normal blood sugar. So if you're waking up in the morning and your blood sugar is 200, that's not right. You know, so there's something that you need to do about that. I think that, you know, there's a Negro spiritual that the verse says, oh, what needless pains we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. So we all are all going to die, but do we have to die now? That's the thing. Do we have to die now? Is there something that could have been done, or could we have done something to prolong our life? And we don't like to talk about it, you know. Different demographics, Caucasians don't mind talking about it at all. But it's all the other demographics we have issues. African Americans, Asians, Hispanic. We don't like to talk about it because it makes us look like we're weak. Well, it's really kind of silly because you are weak if you're sick. And if you don't talk about it and realize that, you know, you're not by yourself, other people are having these same issues that you're having. So I think that, I personally think that the enemy loves for us to keep it quiet so that we won't seek any help, you know. So there is a lot of work to be done. I mean, if you look at the statistics for obesity and diabetes and cardiovascular issues that we have in the state, and it is part of the fact that we have such a high Latino population. They have a lot of the same issues that the African Americans have, you know, with the diet. The diet is very similar, you know, fried foods, things like that. I think that with education we do better. I really don't think that anybody really wants to go out like that. I really don't think that you want to die like that. But I think it's just that no one has brought it to our attention. So in the second chapter of my life, that's what I'm lending myself to, is bringing these issues to our attention, you know, and understanding who we are in Christ and how we can be more effective. I mean, could I be effective if I have one leg that I got amputated because I had diabetes? Yes, I can still talk. But how much more effective if I can walk over to your house and tell you the same thing? You know, so that is my goal. And although In His Will Ministries is not a nonprofit yet, that is the goal. And just want to bring the word to the people and combine that word with health and Christianity. And that's my goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sister Fair. Two things. My sugar level was 110 this morning.
That's excellent.
Just to let you know. And then a quick question I have for you. Is fried chicken bad for us?
Well, you know, you have to do everything in moderation. Can you eat fried chicken every day? I don't recommend it.
No.
Can you eat the whole chicken?
No.
No. Are there parts of that chicken that, if it was fried, that are better for you than other parts?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Which part is that?
The breast, which is the part that nobody really likes. They like the dark meat because it has more fat in it. But it's moderation. Can you eat the cake? Yeah. Have a thin slice. But can you eat the whole cake? No. Can you eat it every day? No. But it's just moderation. And you know what? That is an exercise in restraint that a lot of us don't have, in self-control. You know, that can I have a broiled breast, and can I have a half a cup of ice cream, which is a recommended serving, not 3 scoops in your bowl. You know, so yes, you can. Yes, you can.